where they not having the best start of all things, and I don't really like that Breeze pick at number 3, because it opens up a lot for Giant X, and reverse sweeps are always on the table, but still, I would have preferred G2 to play it a little bit more safe, to show Breeze as their first map, establish dominance early on, and not go for sort of that coin toss against Giant X, even though they're a good split team, no questions asked, but like Giant X is as well.
Yeah, no, it's like the overall map pool favors G2 to a certain degree, but the order of maps feels like it can definitely shift momentum in favor of Giant X. But jumping into the agent comps and discussing those in particular, you can see why G2's picked it, right? I feel like aside, I mean, they have a 100% win rate on it, right? And I think a play that I'm going to be looking at is this Mimi Breach. Like, not a lot of people are running it. It's been this comfort pick for her, but we've seen kind of her individuality and her individual performance waver on this agent, right? Like, we obviously saw her Waylay debut, we've seen her Yoru, and those are very self-sufficient, and we've seen her again frag out, and I'm wondering if we're going to have that again today.
And that's the G2 spirit, right? They're a family rather than a team, and trying to cheer themselves up. JT towering over everyone else is a little bit funny. But we're going into the server. Giant X vs G2 goes on a spot in the upper bracket final, a spot in the grand final on the line here in a best of 5 all maps. Everything will be tested today in the long run. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep, we will see who gets that early lead, who pulls ahead. G2, aside from obviously aiming position likely for that toxic screen, it feels very direct, it feels very focused around this A space, and you highlighted Anva pretty early on, and it is definitely going to be her front and the center, right? Unless they go for a hefty mid-tick right off the gate, but I think G2 want to start out correctly here, because you look at that stat line, right? It's GX 3-1 as an organization, right? Not the same roster, but they've been cursed time and time again with these 3-1s, and we're basically following the same script as last year, so let's see if G2 has submitted a rewrite.
Script should be flipped here right now for G2 goes, and they're going for a very aggressive start. Over onto that A side, nobody there to hold it. Anva, late peek, trying to fight it. Spike still in main. G2 has to fight the Rams players, because Mimi is split off from the entire team and still doesn't find an angle to get into this one. G2 might have overplayed their hand here. Vanya finds an important frag onto Jada. Same goes for Amy. Numbers advantage established for G2, and they're getting the spike onto the spot now.
Planted.
Fairly quickly rotate and retake by Giant X coming up.
I like the Vanya screen's position. I like the ramps take from Giant X just so they can finish the job.
Eva baits a little bit for that closed angle, for that high risk position that Amy is taking in, but she gets checked. Amy finds a double headshot, and Vantadora both on the ground. Vanya takes that last one. Full house between both of those smokes players for G2 Gozen, and they're going up 1-0 after what looked like a shaky start to that round.
You know, I think the decision there, the call to stop fighting for ramps and instead get onto the site, get the spike down, and just frame these crossfires was everything, right? As soon as Amy's position is revealed, you have the flashpoint come out from the breach from Mimi, and that sets her up to survive and find two. And then you have Vani, who took deep screens as well, get back to the team fight. So again, just very fluid there on the pistol when it's back to basics. And speaking of basics, it's an eco. What do? You gamble, stack a site, and Giant X, given the success G2 just had, decided upon A, and aside from the Amy lurk, unfortunately, they have not chosen correctly.
Gambled wrong. Wrong 50-50s happen. It's still Amy. Slowly creeping up to this one. Might have a big surprise here! Good morning! Spots everyone from Giant X. Amy falls down, but it's just a ghost falling onto the ground, and G2 goes and will execute into the B side immediately.
Yeah, they took the risk of not popping their own toxic screen and instead relying on the enemies, and it comes down, and so do you. But you mentioned it, yep, B side deserted. Safe plant, safe post-plant positions. It's gonna be hard to break through.
Well, Jetmo has an interesting position there. Might get a close ranged angle fight against Eva. She doesn't spot that corner. But quicker on the trigger. Jademo doesn't get that kill, doesn't convert it. Aggressive fight by Akita. I don't really like this one. Only a trade. Number still in a doable position. Vanya up from the heavens makes all three. Just spray them down. G2. Second round taken away from Giant X, and it goes fairly good numbers-wise for G2. 3 guns make it into the next one.
Yeah, I mean, you think about what would have been if Jademal won that engagement up against Eva, right? Then you have the split attention from main while the flood from heaven is coming out. So Nvani would have to be head on a swivel, but we are going to have a very, very short tech pause. I mean, we're coming into an important round where we need Giant X to get on the board with these rifles in hand, obviously. And again, looking at that round, I'm not seeing anything bad at a Giant X just yet, right? They're very grouped. They're taking, again, the timings together. It was, again, if you lose the pistol, the next round is likely to snowball. So as we're getting to the meat and potatoes of things, I think it is going to be close still here, Akamosk. What have you made of the first 2 rounds?
I think I really like that Giant X is trying to get early into those fights, trying to separate G2 and split their executes, because Mimi on the breach has to be a little bit more backwards, has to play behind her team, and Giant X is trying to find those corners, trying to find those angles where Mimi is cut off from the team to separate this 4 split and this 1 player, where you can maybe take out the spike, maybe can take out the initiator, and if a breach falls early into the game without using the entire utility, you have some problems on your hands.
No, absolutely. But we promised it would be short, and here we go, getting ready to jump into that 3rd round. And G2 sticking with the B site. The pings ready to challenge this B main space, but the reposition from Anva, who was previously playing A ramps, could define this opener.
No sniper just yet. Just a Vandal in hand. Trying to wait for some contact immediately. Headshots Akita away. First frag goes down to Anva, trying to find a second one, but Amy quicker on the trigger. Has a big gunner in her hands as well. Bird doesn't find the target, Giant X. They're still trying to slow this one a little bit down, cancelling their own noise. Drop on the side, Adora. Great paranoia. Anita gets a double there for her as well from the heavens down, but Amy does the same thing for her likes. Jada and Jademore. All on themselves now.
Here.
Wow. And we need a regroup here. Giant X divided. Jademore going again for the backstab. You can see G2 just hold, wait. Maybe even decide to refight. When you have 45 seconds left, you have so much. The world's your oyster in terms of where to explore, where to position.
That's a big question, Mimi. Trying to get that spike down.
One enemy remaining.
Doesn't really get from the heavens and finds a nice frag. Jademore, unknown. Goes unnoticed. Behind that pillar, you know where Amy is right now.
It's playing it for her, though.
Things have been clear. Orb is going down. Jademore able to move away. The spike is ticking down. You need to hurry. You need to be fast on this one.
Poison orb emitting.
Amy
Such a difficult position.
Plays it so far back. The swing and the hard shot. 4 kills for Amy. A 3rd round for G2. Establishing dominance on the attack early on.
And I said Amy was going to be a problem on the Chamber, but now she's a problem on the Viper. That played so well. And Jademore thought she was inside Amy's head, right? You mentioned them being prior teammates from so long ago, expecting the Heaven Wrap, but instead by cycling this orb and even blocking your invisibility in CT, like, you deter Jademore from just fighting up, right? When time is so low, like you mentioned. But I mean, the setup on that site was gorgeous as well, right? They completely shut down Anva with that paranoia breach util combination. And then when they actually got onto the site, the players, her GX were fairly split. So now you're on Nico. Gotta change something up in the pacing department, and that pacing is going to be exploring mid. Mimi alone. For the time being, a headhunter opening would be golden.
I like what they're trying to set up. Anva splitting the map. Not hearing any steps. Here's the spike drop, Anva! Headshot against Mimi. Breach on the ground. Setups this round for success. Parasite, but no weapon recoverable.
Okay, Trailblazer spots out Amy, but Spike was heard over towards Ramen, so they're gonna stay stacked towards this site, and Anva takes another over towards B main. So I'm quite worried at how spread out G2 goes and now looks on the eye test.
Still no real decision. Anya's trying to spray for a smoke, and now there's a weapon in range for Giant X.
And Jademore's going over to heal as well. So I'm expecting Anva in the form she's in right now to keep it, but the pressure's mounting out of heaven.
Gonna fall back here.
And Akita just pushing for that molly. Finds that frag. Akita gets Anita out of position. A dash onto the side, a double kill, a double entry. Makes this one much more doable for G2. Amy frags herself in as well. The numbers advantage Not coming into fruition. Adora, you have a shotgun, not the best weapon for this one, but Amy falls down anyways.
remaining.
On the pistols, Jademar. A back and forth onto this entire round. G2 can't establish that dominance. Can't push the dominance further. No, you heard the shotgun. You know where the player is. And Vanya needs to be fast on this. Adora has it. It's an upset on the flawless Adora. And Anva with heroics to bring this one back.
Wow, fully nearsighted and still getting the Bucky kill to secure the Thrifty for Giant X. And I mean, Anva with the opening kills on the Hunter Golden. And I think G2 had a chance because of the speed in which they reflooded out of B Heaven, right? Before we could have that Jade Maru group to get Anva back up to full HP. But it was this duo in a perfect coordination there on that retake. And the lucky classic shots as well from Adora that allowed that round to come through. Now, coming into the next, kind of a fake out setup, right? Giant X had immense information super early into the round. So what are you gonna do? Fake the Akita entry off the waylay, play a little bit deeper towards this B site until maybe that guiding lane, until maybe that chamber rendezvous comes through. But we have an operator online, and I don't know about this from G2.
How did the problem is this one? Anva getting through. Jada has a double kill as well. Some problems here for G2 establishing control early on in the round. Anita has one for her as well. Mid is not an option. A double for Anita there. Flawless round for Giant X, and I'm still a little bit confused.
I am
in
too.
how Anva get through that brawler in main.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they wanted to full sell, then they had this set up for a really nice A fake and NB. But instead, they showed the presence early B. They wanted instead the deep anchors on A, it looked like, to rotate back into. So when Jada got those 2 kills after, I mean, the sacrifice towards B was worth it when you see that many players on the deep line from Anva. It just all fell apart, the timings in complete synchrony. And now, I mean, they're just trying to simplify things. G2 want to get the ball rolling again.
I want to make this one a little bit faster. Vanya potting into the small gap, quick execute, Akita into heaven. Spots a lot of players, but Vanya is behind them. Anva and Anita. Important frags for them. A second one, Anita. The wall that Giant X is needing right now. Her and Anva holding down the heavens. Great swing out of Adora. And an equalizer. Giant X is coming back. The momentum swing we talked about. The momentum team that Giant X is coming into fruition right now.
Absolutely, and while that was an eco, the G2 set play was nice. The from the shadows, the light speed into heaven so they could crunch onto that player. But we see, yeah, Anita handle that with grace. Just hard anchoring, hard fighting, and they just completely shut them out. And that's exactly what you needed to deny a lot of these G2 eco, these creative strategies. And this is going to be a big round. Ults on both sides, the lead up for grabs. And honestly, I think G2 have more to lose. They lose this, they're back to a save.
And it's an important round for G2. A huge swing round coming up for the entire half because they're down onto a 5-3 there. And Giant X can then, from there, just snowball on with ultimates, with their general economy. I think Adora should throw that showstopper in here.
This is G2's pick as well. So definitely not how you want to start off this best of 5. But we've got to get past this round first, and the pit is being disrespected, Akamask.
And Akita just runs over Anita. They're stopping this pit in the middle. Giant X tried to split the map with this one into 2 pieces, but G2 doesn't let that slip, immediately finds the Viper.
Ooh, and they're gonna leave Akita deposited here, right? The trademark will have Adora's back with a regroup. The noise and water can set Adora and this showstopper up for perfect success here in main.
Yeah, could stop the party for G2 immediately. Adora flies in. The first one for her, but Mimi up for the trade. They need to get past Anva now. Jump spot. Might gets her out of position. Might gets her a little bit uncomfortable. Trademark
30
triggered.
seconds left.
Paranoia baits out the teleport. Akita up into heavens already. A great position, but Jada on the side. Not to be disrespected. Anva has the second one. You heard that drop. Jada makes it possible. Brings it into the pockets of Giant X more and more. And in the end, it's Jade more on the lurk. 4 and 3. Swing round 1. Giant X running away.
And that is the third time we've seen Jademaw behind a G2 for varying levels of success. As we get another quick type pause here, I think there's a lot to break down in that round, so it is the perfect time. It's like a matter of what ifs, right? The opening was great, and I can't help but wonder if they silent rotated to A instead of running through water, how differently that round would have gone, right? They get past Anva, they circumvent and trade the showstopper, but it was Jada having enough time to reposition on that A site, so they had layers of these anchors. That's what made the difference. And if they didn't have that early warning system that G2 basically handed over, I think that round could have gone a lot differently for Giant X.
Yeah, it could have been a round that goes both ways, right? But Giant X was so decisive in what they were trying to do there, entering with Adora, trying to force a fight out there and trying to get confirmation that everyone of G2 is there. And then that double hold from Jada and Anva on that side destroyed everything G2 were trying to set up. Like, they were losing a lot of their utility early on in that round. Mimi has to commit the ultimate onto the side, but Anva holds long enough that Jada has the impact that she needs to have right there.
You know, I'm really liking how the Chamber is allowing them to set up these fights, whether it's because you're scared of the op line or whether the trademark is holding that mid control, right? We saw Akita a little bit delayed on regrouping there with the team, which also could have helped maybe address that site hold itself. And I'm liking the confidence as well, right? We've said this time and time again, and Jademaw says that she doesn't care who's on the other side of the server. Names mean nothing. And we saw Adora play with that same exact mentality. And I love this as well, right? Like, mentioning they don't care who's on the other side of the server. Giant X, they have a hit list, and they are marking names off left to right and a center, eliminating like every single team they lost to except for G2 and Gentlemates from the group stage.
Yeah, it seems like Giant X is the Pike of Game Changers right now, just crossing off names one by one, trying to eliminate those teams who wronged them in the group stages. And Giant X are making a great job here of G2 on that defense.
All right, another eco. They invested the big ultimate in the Rolling Thunder, so you're gonna look towards that. You're gonna look towards Akita, maybe if they do want to put all into this eco attempt. And Jada, I like the respect that's shown.
Yeah, just getting away onto this one. They still have Anva's ultimate. They still have Anva's ultimate. If something goes wrong on this one, if sometimes the economy starts to struggle a little bit, so some more safety that Giant X is getting off here.
Anva totally spotted Vanya there, right? Right?
The Paranoia latest, all the Seekers are doing this one. Jada has two quick frags out of this. Adora jumps onto Vanya as well. The Paranoia on an awkward timing, but Adora has the back of her teammate Amy all on her own in main. Stuck with a Sheriff, too much for her to handle. Nothing she can do about this. The view is coming through. Another round for Giant X. Nice shots out of Amy. But in the end, you're falling anyways to the hands of Jada. A triple kill and round number 5 for Giant X.
Wow, and there was that moment of indecision of where to fight as a team, right? You had Akita with the only stinger in hand, wanting to fight into heaven. I mean, first off, Anva was prepared with a shorty, but it was that then regrouping to CT off the Nightfall that came late, right? They were already hitting the Seekers, they were already flashing out of heaven, and that entire just interruption threw off what could have been a really nice eco out of G2. And we mentioned again the purgatory that they're stuck in, the buy, the save, the buy, the save, and how GX was inevitably going to get to this 5-3 point. And now you really want to course correct, right? You still have a few of these nice ultimates in terms of the convergent paths, but you've burned 2 of the other big ultimates without round conversions. So to be honest, at this point, like, yeah, there's some glaring issues in terms of timing and ideas, execution out of the really deep strat pick from G2, but I do really just want a one-time swift idea out of JT and DrewSpark to kickstart this system.
And they had those quick ideas onto in earlier matchups against Giant X, right? We talked about it. They played during this week against them, 2-0'd the same team. But is Giant X really the same after their win against Carmine Corp, or are they changed mentally?
That's a good spot.
I need to ask them if they win this series, like how they're able to beat all these teams that they lost to previously. It's definitely insane, but got to get this job done first. They've got to continue and ante what G2 just came up with during that timeout.
We need to find answers to the calls of JT and DrewSpark.
Okay, Anva, you've been in the same spot G2's gone, and round after round. Can you get another opening? Nope, flushed out.
Akita has set a very opening that you're talking about, Anva. Just holding the line, waiting for G2 to execute, but Jademaw has another frag for her as well. Anva, aggressive peek. trying to force her way into the utility, trying to surprise G2. But doesn't get anything done in the end. Jada, are you ready for the task? Do you have the power to handle the situation? Akita is just springing into this one, but a quick break out of Jada. Mimi on a trade. It's going back and forth, but in the end, 1 versus 2 for Jademore. Going up the ladders. Going up heaven. Both players on the side, she should know.
And that reposition was so smart. They knew they were going to 3-2-1 double swing you from main and pillar. So this allows her to isolate the fights. But even a 1v1 is not one she might win ever. Getting that ever important round on the board for G2 goes and that's the second time we've seen Akita able to overwhelm, right, Anita and this mid hold, right? They did it back with the Viper's Pit online as well. And last time it was this slow pause and re-rotate that threw things amiss. So here I liked that they stuck to their guns, followed through on the site execution. And I mean, there was also some mistakes from GX, like that bold challenge from Anva versus we've seen Jada just fall back, respect, and play a retake with the team. So that could be something maybe called as like, okay, maybe we don't try that again.
Yeah, maybe we should change something about our mid hold. They're bringing Adora there and trying to get Anva a little bit more of an aggressive timing. Trying to bring the AWP into a position and the hard shot finds that entry. No aggressive fight from Anita towards middle. Spotted the waylay once again. Akita trying to hunt down Adora, but no kill for her. And now she's stuck in enemy territory.
And there's that change. Not just Adora, but then giving up the space without giving up the first blood.
Putting it a little bit more passively. Trying to give G2 the space and the time to rethink what they're trying to do, but establishing holds over on the side of Giant X. A quick execution out of Akita. Behind her ultimate. Jademore up there for a trade. Mimi down, which makes this one a lot more difficult for G2, but Akita still on a tear. Still up to the task to take the B spot for her team. Timing needed out of Adora. Fight to kill. Doesn't get the second one. Anva, have you got it? Have you got the timing? Have you got the shots? Misses onto Eva.
Oh, she's going
Picks
for
up
this.
a Vandal. They have more than enough money. She should. Picks up a Vandal. Repositions. Up onto the rafters.
They're gonna hear the drop. Paranoia still online for Vanya as well.
Jump spotted her. Paranoia takes off the timer. And you need to be fast now. Spike's already ticking low. Both of them holding it. Vanya! Quicker on the trigger and the back and forth goes on and on and on and on. It's rounds after rounds and always a follow-up from those teams. G2 gets the second run in a row, even though Anva started this one off perfectly.
All right, and so we have a solution to this mid-hold. Obviously, I think the convergent paths and Akita's sheer aggression with that utility was a major disruption. Now I just need to see this B side addressed, and that's exactly where the timeout comes in for Giant X. And I think this is where we're gonna see that hard work that Jademore has mentioned. We've got to see some of that creativity shine through as well. Show us why Raze is still in your agent pool, right? in this current meta, for example. And I'm expecting either, again, to put Amba a little bit deeper into B main, if she's not super oppressed, because now Jada's even getting crunched. Or even, honestly, can I see a mid-fight? Send Adora down, right?
Give them a little bit more space. And we talked about Giant X coming here to that lower bracket final, something nobody expected. And many people are quick to call this one a miracle run or like some sort of fairy tale. But Jademore yesterday went hard on this one, told us nobody's working like us. Our work ethic is the peak of Game Changers EMEA, and that's why we are here and that's why we deserve this.
Peak hard work or boot camping, which one will prevail? But for now, we are putting Amba back on mid. So again, they want to keep that mid space. Nice rendezvous tucked away. But another thing that stood out was G2. Their 2v1 conversions right now are really clean. I don't know what's higher, that or the eco denials from Giant X, but keeping it simple, seeing what the lay of the land is like. They're just sending it in A, but a corner's not cleared. Akamascador has the showstopper online.
They're not checking the corner, but do they know? Do they know where Vanya is? Adora behind them, fighting into enemy lines. Frag onto Mimi, the showstopper doesn't get a kill, but the Vandal does in the end. Vanya's still on site, still behind them, is creeping up. Bullet in the back of the head. Giant X is trying to retake their space, but a little bit of a speed cut going down by G2. Quick flick out of Eva. Quick kill onto the side, and the Viper's Pit's going down as well.
I was gonna say, after all that chaos, we still had a 3v3, but a beautiful kill again, punishing individual over peak before a plan is set in stone.
Still have a paranoia. If you're Jada, 19 HP onto Amy. Did Viper's Pit has some risk to it. Has some options for Giant X to play around. Enva goes in. Enva needs to find that Viper. Here's the drop. A double swing needed. Gets the first one. Amy has both! Round number 6, G2 is coming back. You never can count them out. Even on a map like Split, where they play against a team that are great on it.
Honestly, small mistakes, these cracks that G2 are starting to exploit. Again, the openers are clean. It's these regroups in the late round that are taxing Giant X time and time again. And you saw it right there, Akamas. That was something you found. Was 258 days since a playoffs loss before that upper bracket one?
No, their last loss was in Split 2. 25. Quick paranoia. Jada. Needs support out of there, but Enva has the support. Finds Akita. Split off by the team. And immediately executed by Enva.
Yeah, money was sour coming into this round, so perfect supplement there from the Tour de Force. They didn't say weapons, they just went in. And speaking of going in, G2, they're up mid yet again, and Anita has survived again this time around. No trademark invent because Enva's fully committed to B. So I'm curious to see how strong Jademwa is in this position instead.
And look at the Brawler there sending down B. Trill is still trying to send this one off as a fake. But Jademwa goes up ramp, knows everything now. Hears all of the sounds, all of the steps from G2 Gozen. No frag from her. This one hurts.
They're so thorough, right? Even now clearing out main or attempting to do so, Adora holds on. No response yet from G2. They're wary from the shadows, and this is the crunches that they've been setting up and executing, Akamask.
Yeah, but Vanya finds Adora. Gets the person that they are pinching against.
30 seconds left.
But no, G2 needs to get on the spot. Enva slow into this one. Still has the saying here. Ever all on her own. The new player for G2 needs to be up clutch in the playoffs in such an important game for the Orc.
One enemy remaining.
But Enva falls down. Enva pickles on the 1v2. Too much to handle for Eva in the end. And we're going to halftime at 6-on-6.
Switching sides. Spike down A. One. Last player standing.
A 6-6.5, and no surprise when we've mentioned again the stakes for both of these teams coming in to this lower finals. We would have it no other way, and we saw huge growth through the timeouts that we saw in the first half, so they're adjusting to each other. Again, this is the team that's faced off against each other twice now in this stage alone. With the side swap, Akamask, and the confidence we've seen from GX, I do feel like the attack could be better.
It can change a little bit, even though that comp tends to be a little bit more defensive-centric, especially with the chamber. You need to play a little bit more of a slower Valorant approach. And Giant X, they're playing very far behind right now, and giving G2 the space to explore, giving G2 the place to find some of the other players. Vanya and Akita, do you spot Jada? They do! Akita finds the first kill!
That's all they want. They actually give up the spike, which was unknowingly tucked away in Ramen. In the meantime, though, they've expanded their web elsewhere for Giant X. Look at Adora already into vents, right? No trademark for the G2 side to rely upon. Just jump peeks from Eva.
But they are aware. They're looking over towards that vents position. They know that mid has been abandoned by them. And was charging up. Adora has a timing there, but immediately the stun comes off from enemy. Rotations in. G2 might be quicker on the position, on the reposition over to that A side. Still no spike on the spot. Has been dropped by Jademore. Adora from the heavens at least gets one in trade. But still not the most favorable position for them. The defense for G2 seems so good. Adora on the trade and we're all on her own. Finds the ghost, at least some upgrades. 3 bullets in the headhunter. Needs to find 3 kills left there as well. Akita. Position known. Knows where Enva is. Knows she charges up ramps. Mimi on a 1v1 gets the kill, but Akita quick on her support. 6-7 for G2 Gozen.
And G2 taking both pistol rounds on this map. Again, we even saw them convert that 3rd round bonus, so they know what it means to have momentum. And Jada, that is just so unfortunate. She had the recognition that this deep kind of weird Omen smoke could provide that sort of aggro play. And I mean, it's an Omen, it's a Waylay. Those permit those styles, but we'll see if they keep getting tricked by that sort of mischief. I mean, this is a map that they have not experienced G2 on, but all in all, Giant X, it's an eco. What do? See if you can make a stick, and that's a nice chip onto Eva.
And they're finding the weak side, right? Currently, Giant X exactly where they want to be. Targeting Akita and Eva, but Akita will go aggressive. There's a crossfire set up. A lot of surprises waiting for her main. Overstep from Akita. A little bit too far forward.
I mean, the bait and switch is good. The site plant spike going down. Aftershock too late. This is clean, and there was no punishment out of Eva in screens either.
Scout destroyed.
Jademon spots 3 people. They know where G2 is positioned. They know where they're coming from. But are they ready for it? Are they ready for the bigger weapons? 4 people trying to flood over there into heaven. Waiting for Amy to make that misstep. Adora spots her. But it's a 1v1. Amy gets those duels. Gets those 1v1s, but no kills coming through. Jademore on the spot. Doing God's work. But has to be perfect. Has to close this one up. Weapons on the ground for G2 Gozen, but the round goes for them anyways.
It's battle, it's bloody, it's under 3 seconds on the defuse. The regroup and refight there on the A side was so nice into heaven from Giant X. I just wish Jademon had a way to support them in that engagement so that Amy wasn't able to absolutely farm with this Spectre. And I mean, if they shut her down a little bit earlier, Spike was planted for them. Only the complication would have been that Spike smoke, but this is the round where the pressure's on for Giant X, right? They lost their previous 3rd round conversion, so what do? Put out all the stops. Look at this, an operator already online for Anva in the 3rd. They don't want to just win this round, they want to snowball it themselves.
They can't invest much more in that round. And no tracking from the guiding light. Nobody blinded. They don't know how aggressive G2 is positioned up there. Vanya spots the op. Jig is up, Anva needs to retreat. Gets her teleport away as well. Amy. Close position on that Bucky.
Be dangerous. Obviously, we still have 1 flash for Jademon, but no Trailblazer to confirm the weapon that's holding this space. Mimi. Well, Aftershock was invested early. Fault lane ready as soon as contact's made around mid.
I like how defensive she is positioned right now. Trying to really get the most out of that fault line, Jademore. Not quite confident enough to go into heaven, and a reset for Giant X.
Spike dropped.
Ooh. Mimi's waiting so hard for Amy here.
Yeah.
Shadows traveling.
But Giant X doesn't fall for that bait right now.
It's gonna work. No way.
No, right? That can't happen. You can't bait this much.
Down B.
But it works out. Jada falls on the ground. Jademore on the quick swing. Finds a trade. Mimi has a right click. Has another kill. Numbers are going. Even Vanya in the smoke. They're on so little weapons. Vanya had the perfect timing, but decides to pour it out. 12 seconds on the clock.
10 seconds left.
But Giant X are getting it done, getting the spike down. Anva from main, another kill. Eva all on her own, 1 versus 3. Take out more of the eco for Giant X, but she's trying to save that weapon, trying to bring that bundle to the next round.
She wants to damage first, right? They'll be able to buy, especially if she can drop. Yup, but yeah, this is Anva we're talking about. I mean, that round was so dicey because of these close range engagements, right? I mean, right-click RNG from Mimi, the Bucky bait was perfect here, even if eventually traded by that Guiding Light. And honestly, if Vanya got away with this murder onto Anva, I don't know if there would have been enough time safely to get that spike down. So, again, danger avoided this time around, but it is costly. Put another light shield on the board here for Anva, and in the meantime, some regen shields because of the Bucky buy on the G2 side, so there's a world. We get GX stabilizing, tying us up 8-8.
Here.
Region
Scout
feels
destroyed.
always fine, in my opinion.
Ow.
Amy finds that first kill through that smoke. Akita swings back there again. 2 quick kills out of G2.
That's the second bait that's been successful, right? That one a little bit more predictable when you're destroying the dog. That adamantly out of Amy, but I mean, for a shot through the smoke to then Akita realizing that it could have been predictable, so scaling up instead. And I mean, the fact that nobody gets punished either, no trades come through, is aghast for Giant X. I mean, I'm glad to see they've at least preoccupied and cleared out that mid space, but some hero has to emerge if they actually want to flip the numbers this round with less than a minute left.
And G2 knows
Teleport's
exactly where they're giving up space and where they're taking space on their other side, right? They are precise in their movement over the map. The middle has been taken away by Giant X, but G2 is absolutely fine with this one.
Hitting the brakes.
Spots the player into heaven and know that the execute has to happen there. Anita,
30 seconds
can
left.
you find something? Can you get that kill? Do you spot Vanya? Has been getting out of the situation. Mimi finds the
down,
spike.
B.
I have the spike.
Nothing else to be taken advantage of. This has been a little bit better for Giant X than we expected, maybe.
Has to still finish off the 2v3. The regroup good as well out of G2. 3 players ready in alley.
Last player standing.
Yo, still up for Anva, gets one. But that's all she gets. Round number 9, G2 on that defensive half. They're not making this one funny. They're not trying to have any struggles here. They want to take away that map pick. They want to bring it home.
Absolutely, and I think they made a decision not to pick up the operator here as well, but the opening fight was clean. The util coordination here to deny the flood out of B Heaven clean. They're stopping the Giant X momentum that they like to build. Because Giant X in these posts with Anva on the op are dangerous, and this is the first time where it really worked against them because you couldn't get that clutch through in the close range. And timeout coming through, and there is, I feel like, players that I do want to see more out of, right? We look at Jada, who was so impressive in that Carmine Core matchup yesterday. And curious to know if it's role-wise as well, right? You have Anita, too, who was super impressive on that Yoder, for example. When we get to Bind and Breeze later on, maybe she'll get that revitalization factor after getting bullied over on that defensive hold towards mid. So we haven't seen her with a successful lurk either because of how fast Giant X are setting the pace. So that could be the call here as well, right? Slow down just a little bit. Wait out some of these early trap plays, right? I don't think we've not seen one from G2, right? We had the B main one, we had that mid one.
Yeah, G2
Just-
is always trying to get some pressure in. Always trying to take a little bit of space away from Giant X.
And that's our last time out as well. So we are going to half buy rounds, so I'm expecting to see the tour de force from Anva to complement this Bulldog and this Guardian. But after this, that's when we really need to see the return, when it is that full buy. And here it comes.
Yeah, Tudor falls up and running immediately, but the Viper Spit to counter any mid-aggression. Like Giant X, that's a no-no zone for you right now.
Okay.
I got the spike.
Jade Maw. Spike recovered, regroup towards B. I like the high-low that G2 has set up on this site. They're definitely playing very light towards the A space. Confident they can retake it with Mimi's Rolling Thunder. So to me, it's just a matter of, okay, are they going to over-invest that resource early off this contact in B main or not?
That's a big question. Akita not spotted by the flash. a little bit of counter-aggression. G2 is trying to set up there. 2 versus 2. Immediately a fourth line has been taken, but Akita shot out of a stun from Jada.
Ooh.
That's a wild setup, but a trade from Vanya at least to soft the blow for G2.
Yeah, finally we get Giant X getting out of that, at least with a 1-for-1, right? Talked about previously, J2 would get unpunished, unscathed. This is a nice call, nice identification that the A site is weaker, right? When you bolster the mid with a pit, when you have the breach stack towards B and that trap play off of Vanya, it's gonna be Eva.
Sleep.
Finds the kill, finds the contact, finds the frag spot. Only one for attacking. Adora on a refrag. Charging that showstopper, and suddenly that round seems much more doable for Giant X. Vanya is low for the HP. Rolling Thunder available for G2, yes, but still some counter ultimates that they might be using. Showstopper immediately taken by Adora. Tries to bring the fight to G2. Gets the kill onto Vanya. A lot of damage. An important one, and that's Adora! Double spray down! G2 doesn't get through elbow. Giant X has round number 8 on the back of the duelist.
Wow. And honestly, that's not even out of the timeout. That's just out of Adora waking up. I mean, at least they got the trade here on the opener. That's maybe a switch up, but I thought Alma was going to be the one to save this round, right? Tour de Force unaffected by the Rolling Thunder up in heaven, but Adora, you mentioned the counter from the ult. I'm surprised they didn't wait it out there. They've still pushed in through that tight choke and got punished for it. And Phantom that was recovered, just enough HP to get the job done off that perfect paranoia from Jada. So now, G2, after the rounds they found to open this half, reduced to an eco, is not where you need to be.
Adora has a contact there, but Amy finds that kill. No weapon to be recovered. And that's why Jada is throwing it off the map, trying to at least not giving G2 the edge there and quick A execute. Other Giant X, even though there's a numbers advantage for G2.
Do you use the Nightfall here is the question now for G2, or do you just see if you can get in off sheer util?
Flash coming through, setting up Akita. They know where she is. Needs to be somewhere on site. Jade Mo spots her out. Numbers even once again. Eva, do you invest at Nightfall? That's the big question. It doesn't seem like it. And everyone is going for elbow. Once again, a double out of Amy. Makes this one much more doable. Now you obviously invest at Nightfall. Make this round in a very doable spot for G2. Vanya just jumping over there. Quad kill for Amy. Anva has to be the hero. Has to save this one. Vanya on 1 HP. No kill. But she knows that there are hits on it. Vanya, the savior for G2. She and Amy bringing it down double digits for Gozen.
Back-to-back thrifties out of Giant X, then G2 answering in kind. And I've got to see that moment where the tides turn. Right? I mean, it already sucks to lose Adora. That's so much of your delay utility, but it was that refloat off the Vanya sight smoke into elbow that really, again, closed the distance. And we've seen G2 excel in these close range endeavors time and time again, whether now it's on backside A or B side heaven, it does not matter. And that's the difference maker. GX needs to avoid getting put in those sort of situations. And fortunately, and they've just yet to break this back and forth cyclic spell.
Scout destroyed.
Yet to win out against this one. They've yet to find a follow-up round, both teams. But G2 in a more comfortable spot, 2 rounds in the lead. Giant X, much more pressure on them right now. Even though it's G2's map pick, Anita spotted. They're trying to force her. They're trying to fight her out of this one. Eva gets the kill in the end. Seekers have been used by Giant X, making this one quick. Trying to force their way onto the B side, but Akita stops them on the ultimate. Blood out of vent, a nade that has been perfectly set up. Adora has been great for the entirety of that map. Jade more there as well, but a double for Akita. Brings it more and more into the pockets of G2 with out of Anvar. Makes it even harder. She could be in a 1v2 situation, but the orb betrays her.
Look at the respect G2 showing. Getting as far away as possible, knowing Spike is in Akita's hands over towards Mail. And Akita this round gifted, right? GX knows that G2's like to fight. Heavy commit reclears on this half, and they waited for it, but it still wasn't enough. The pinch too strong to escape. And I was going to say, with the money, I do think they can irk out another buy to keep G2 off of match point. So if Anva can save the op here, that would be huge.
Bringing the op into the next round at least. Giant X has something to work with, and there is the follow-up round we talked about. G2 is stabilizing their economy, stabilizing the snowball that they were trying to set up, and I think they're more than happy to give the op over to the enemy team, if that means not losing any more weapons, stabilizing what you have been building, instead of destroying what the enemies are doing.
Spike down mid.
Yeah, honestly, I think the strongest look from Giant X have been those more direct A hits, right? The posts have been clean, minus the one mistake where they flooded in through elbow and got the thrifty round, so that's kind of what I want to see. I do like them going back to disrespecting the mid space. They've gotten it fairly easy, whether that's G2 giving it up or having these set traps, but it's a similar look here. Again, right, maybe we'll see Akita go into vent this time around out of ramps, but otherwise, deposits already made for Giant X.
This one's do or die. Enva needs to find some more consistency on the op right now. Doesn't find those impact tracks.
Okay, Amy, safe position simply for info. Again, when you're playing this disconnected mid-hold, I like the regroup from Yumi towards A. It's the correct call, given what we're seeing out of Giant X, to try and crunch into this A site.
They're trying to set up Enva. They're trying to get her in a position where she can succeed on that op.
Teleport's ready.
So difficult though, right? If you make contact there on vent, that's on the rope. So Adora would be decayed, likely obliterated by Akita. So I do like this call to regroup, reevaluate, and head back towards B Heaven.
And that's the one player that is okay to be tagged by the Brawler, because she can port out Amy. Impact frag. Spike has been dropped onto Mail. Picked up by Akita, but they know where they're heading right now. I think they're aware of that Vance play. Enva needs to be spotted out as well. You need to be aware on that pinch play. Main is still an area that belongs to Giant X.
Just 15 seconds though.
Time's running low. Drop on the side. Akita needs to be spotted out of that area. A triple out of Akita, holding the side down. G2 is on map point by doing this one flawlessly.
Wow, and no more timeouts to stop the momentum out of Giant X. A catastrophic mistake after an otherwise beautiful mid-round there. The push and pull from G2, so clean. And Adora, I thought she was gonna have the timing there. Out of ropes, shut down Akita, but the reposition again, where G2 has her drop down, where they trust in Mimi and the cycling of her utility. Very, very well done. And 4 rounds now needed from Giant X to go to overtime. They found that similar streak of 5 in the first half. 10 they replicated, especially when there's some ults in the mix for G2.
Let's to the middle. That's the important one. No real ult on the side of Giant X, but they're rotating away from the pit into the A side.
Yeah, their one win con of getting players deep deposit into mid for that mid-round call has been stripped away by the Viper's Pit. A side again left intentionally weak to play that retake. I'm loving the high-low again pairing towards B. This feels like the correct choice out of Giant X. It's just a matter of what Eva will be able to find, and again, what util Mimi can provide support-wise from afar.
Trying to flash into the side. Mimi needs to be very good on that utility. 1 kill forever, more than enough. More than you can ask for. Anita gets a trade onto Mimi. Utility down, Ever finds that kill, retreats, gets out of there. Support from Vanya there as well. Numbers advantage for G2. Yes, the pit is going down, but there is still all the possibilities for Gozen. Adora, the important player. 21 frags and still counting. Getting the kill, making the showstopper closer and closer. Anva. So there in an off angle, you need to check this one. She doesn't look, but Vanya not quick enough. Doesn't find the immediately headshot.
One enemy
Dropped down by Amy, punished by Adora. Showstopper is up and running. Ever the last player standing. Anita shot step down. Round number 9. G2 can't convert the round.
I said these A post plans are just so clean from Giant X, and Adora, that player, when she has an otherwise quiet game, awakens when this surge of adrenaline, whether it's overtime, whether it's a final charge during overtime. This is how they got a 3-9 comeback against Carmine Core yesterday, and we're starting to see that start up again if they win this next round, in my opinion, right? It'll be double digits. It won't be that one blip on the radar we've seen so many times this half, but Again, it's that question mark, right? Adora invested that showstopper, not a tool for this round. And look at this, a direct counter, knowing that A was so strong for Giant X. They take A main in stride.
Take a lot of space. Vanya and Anita. This one down, but
Look at
a lot
Adora.
of noise. Oh, the re-clear doesn't work out. Vanya finds the duelist, and Adora has been so impactful in that last few rounds. Shut down. That momentum for the race.
They're gone. Right, numbers found. That's all G2 wants in these early rounds. And I liked the idea to re-clear A main, but I really wish it was off of some util, right? Like a guiding light or something. You can't underestimate these G2 players in dry swing.
And you can't underestimate or disrespect all of those corners. And Vanya standing into one. Anva equalizes. But Vanya is just too good on the trigger. It's just too strong of an aimer. To discredit, no more flashes. Nothing left to work with. Over to the side of Giant X. They have a paranoia, but Jada and Anva somehow bring it back. Giant X are still living. They're not auditives. Ever. You need to be exceptional. You need to be perfect.
Spike planted.
To bring this one home. Giant X momentum is there. Anva is a third. Double digits for them. Are you a believer, Toby?
I'm a believer now. I said it. If GX got to double digits, they've proven their track record, their resiliency. Playing the most rounds out of any team in this stage. And this was a brilliant shrouded step from Jada as well. If she positions instead into that dark cover, tucks away alongside Anva, I don't think it would have been the same outcome. The two players walking past were everything. And I said it earlier this map, didn't I, Akamas? I wanted to see more out of Jada because on the other side is Vanya. They have been so similar in the rankings, right? Being both these fraggers and these assistive players. And I think Jada has slightly higher individual kill statistics, but support-wise, again, the cash, the KPR, the APR, they are hand in hand.
I think G2 is more of a, like, not top-heavy team. Like, G2 is a team that's more split up between roles, and everyone is doing this one perfectly. On the other side, like, Giant X sometimes tends to be a little bit of a top-heavy team, not with all of the supporters coming in. And Vanya is playing her role perfectly. Yes, she is a standout player, but always, like, if she's needed to be in a support role and to take a step back, she's there for it.
Absolutely. I mean, Anva, look, 25 and 16. Adora not far behind because of this late game resurgence. And we had the trap play, right, from G2 that was brilliant to counter A, but that's a one-time thing. You can't run that back time and time again. So Giant X, again, they're sticking to their win condition, not making any changes despite the G2 timeout.
Support from Jada. Broken off, Eva. Only player onto that A side. It's been given over to Giant X. A little bit of a contact over towards Mimi. Both initiators spotted, and the dog on the side should clear out everything. That's a plan for Giant X in a post-plan scenario G2 has to fight against.
Akita has up, but is one off the conversion paths if this kill can get gifted. But this is even worse than normal. Eva didn't anchor.
And Enver has a position. Might get a shot on the up. Finds an entry. Akita down. The up on the ground. No convergent paths for you in that round.
At this point, if you're G2, you lose this round. Two players have full buys. You know, see if something can stick before calling for the same, but time is so far against the Makamask.
Paranoia is so important. You need to be on that side, you need to be quick! Double kill from Anita, from the mains!
Safe
Holding
call.
this one down! The
remaining.
screens pop! Doesn't work for G2! Mimi just runs away, saves that gun! You want 3 full buys in the next round, but Giant X will be hunting for you, will be coming after your head. Jade more falls down, 11 and 12. Giant X is still in this.
And she couldn't even recover that operator that was in Akita's hands either. This kill defines the entire round. And Anita here understanding that the reason why they lost that last A post plane on that Thrifty was losing elbow control. So fights off of that dark cover as those players funnel out. Deny the trades from G2, and we are 1 round from overtime. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Giant X heavy towards this A space. I'm expecting the double controller to go a lot later than Anva, so this looks like a lurk fake out while the Rays fake a B split. And I'm curious if that's going to be enough to weaken the A-hole that's been bolstered this time with Vanya super aggressive on the ramps line.
Completely different setup by G2. But the first strike goes to
What?
Enva again. Ever over peaks, ever over steps on the jiggle. What?
That's where you need like the slow-mo enhanced to see exactly what the pixel angle was, because that in a million years did not look like it was connecting. But it's plot armor at this point for Giant X. First kill found, and that was on the A side, so it should be weaker. But we've seen Vanya multi-kill madness from ramps in this deadly angle.
But Anita has her. Anita is ready for that exact angle because Vanya has played it before. Vanya has shown that she's not afraid of stepping up in this. Jademore finds the IG element. Mimi has been spotted out, called out by Jademore. We are going to overtime. Giant X. Do you believe in miracles?
This team and their avalanches, you cannot control nature. You've just got to get out of the way. And these heroic multi-kills that we usually see from players like Amy, players like Vanya, just are not hitting these past few rounds that Giant X have been able to stack up and now are standing upon that tower and looking down at G2. But if we know anything about G2, they won the pistols. They know how to control momentum when things swap. And now the sides have. So who will get off to the right foot first? Got to wait and see.
Sometimes you just need to sit down.
Bonne chance, mes amis.
And that's what we're trying to do here. An op for Anva early. Getting some support once again.
Okay.
Don't miss me too much.
I like the group kill to try and shut down Akita here into heaven. If she dashes through this, should be at least a trade.
Dog builds for Anita. Has a great position. This time she's quicker than Anita. But Adora has a trade as well. Amy down. One of the top fraggers on the ground. Akita is still thriving. A triple for her. Convergent pops ready. Ultimate has bad applications. Has bad implications. For Giant X at this point. Under the cage. Needs what? No way. No way you're getting that flick. Makes it more possible. All of a sudden, Giant X is not out of this. Are they doing it? Are they getting it back?
I don't know. Guiding Light still online. Double flashes for Mimi. It feels like the util stacked against Giant X.
There's still a Guiding Light. Mimi is flashing into the heavens. Fault line ready as well. A second flash for her. A paranoia. Everything set up perfectly for G2. A bit of a creeping closer. They spotted both players. The Guiding Light is coming through. Mimi needs to fight. Mimi has a double. Mimi says no to that comeback from Giant X. The IGL steps her foot down.
Switching sides.
What a stun. Again, showcasing why the breach is not an outdated pickup on this map, but obviously the flowers go to Akita. That one, I mean, the spotlight maybe for the kills itself, that'll be in the highlight reel for sure, but all in all, yeah, that is a round to celebrate. Mentioning grasping back the reins after, again, you lost that momentum for so long. And now it's just a question, can GX recover?
Shout out to JT. But yeah, G2 is celebrating that round, but still not over it. It's still an A-biter. You need to stay in this. You need to stay sharp. You need to stay precise against the Giant X that certainly won't give themselves up. Anva on the op, aggressive angle.
Ooh, and this is different, right? We talked about A-Take Simulator for Giant X. Akita's not played in this silent corner before, but the alarm bell should go off if she's not paired with Vanya. She's not spotted in vents.
Oh, the timing
Or
is perfect.
there's a huge gap in heaven, even. Right, Anva starting to scale through. Mimi has at least a spawn space, but this has the makings of a really nice GXA split if Jademore gets in position, crosses over man without Amy taking her out.
I think Anwar spotted nothing. I think Eva spotted nothing on that jump peak and expects Giant X to be over towards the B side. That's why they're still strengthening that hold. Akita, you need to spot this one. That angle has been played so often, and Akita has been perfect from those positions. Not the most consistent in that matchup, but when it matters most, she is there, a triple.
Be right back.
To bring it into the pockets of G2 goes no pocket for her. Jada stops the rampage, but Mimi calls game.
win.
Mimi calls map 12 and 14. The comeback denied from G2 Gozen.
Wow, and again, Akita deadly with these, the OTU multi-kills. We mentioned Adora is usually the one in that role, in those shoes.